Hey, yo, yo.
Back Hir-O.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters Hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash.
That nigga's skull is flat than a motherfucker.
The actual head.
It's like it's like even if he's slouching, he stand up straight because the nigga head straight in the motherfucker back.
No.
And like smoking wide open layups.
Stop it. Ken Bazemore.
Who was the weakest the next weakest player on your fantasy team?
Oh.
I had to dabble in some I'm trying to think, bro. I had to dabble in some what's the big fella from the Lakers that they traded for it. He played well for like a week and then AD got healthy and that nigga never played another minute.
Yes, I know exactly who
I
you're
can't
talking
remember his
about. I
name.
can't remember his name either. Man, don't worry. I dabbled in some TJ McConnell stock every once in a while.
Get you 0 points and 2 steals.
My man's be getting like 2 steals, but he be having like 12 assists all the time.
Yeah, no, he is a good. I learned what stocks meant. Do you know what stocks are?
Is that like a John Stockton clone?
No, that
would actually be a great name for that.
It's basketball hipsters shorthand for steals and blocks. So if a person averages 2 steals and 1.5 blocks, they average 3.5 stocks.
I'm not doing that. It's not something I'm gonna do.
Not gonna be able to do it. That's fine. You know what I'm saying?
That's not something I'm gonna buy into. Did you start recording?
Yep.
Wow. When did you start recording?
Flathead ass Kent Bazemore. That'll be the first thing people hear is Kent Bazemore sleeping for 1 million years and his skull fusing straight. That nigga back and back of his head is on the same plane, the same mathematical plane. You know how most people have a little nugget on the back of their head? That nigga shit is on the same axis as his spine. We're back. Nigga, geometrical ass head.
Hopefully,
nigga.
Ken Bazemore didn't randomly tune into the SwordCast and catch all these.
Sorry, bud.
All these strays.
Flathead, and he also so back of his head flat, and he also got a flat top, like a square. Who, bro? Who do he remind me? Okay, do you remember? Dog, do you remember Clarence, the Cartoon Network show Clarence? Well, you remember one of his friends had that square ass head?
You talking about Jeff?
Was that his name?
Jeff's the kid that's like the germaphobe.
Yes, and bro, that's what Kent Bazemore head looked like. That they got a square ass Jeff head from Clarence.
Minecraft Steve.
Right. Boom.
Oh man, hilarious. Yes. Let's go, man. This is gonna be a good episode. This is the 90s cartoon.
Let's go, dog.
Blowout. But yeah, man, before we get started talking about all these great 90s cartoons, what are you into currently?
I've been making music again, bro. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah. I've
go to the 3 turns.
Yeah, man. I've been making some music. I've told myself that I'm not going to play any video games until I use all of the creative juice that I got going right now.
That's hilarious because I've been playing video games.
So, I mean, I feel like when I'm like in a video game like obsession mode, it's hard for me to find time for music. And I know it's a bunch of games that I want to play about to come out soon. So like, I'm glad that I'm in a musical moment right now. Shout out to the homie Isaac Castor, one of our good buds.
He's a good guy.
Excellent MC.
Good rapper too.
Yep. I'm gonna do a little quick project with him. We've been talking about doing a project since he was like 14.
I was gonna say he was a Game Boy, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of. I remember when he was first coming around.
Right, he grew up in front of our eyes, man.
He did.
I remember when I first met him, he was legitimately like 14 years old.
Yeah.
And he had I get it. He's grown now, so he changed his name he goes by his government name.
But his name was sweet.
Bro, Game Boy was a cold rap name.
It really was.
And he spelled it B-O-I.
Yeah, that was cool.
And he wasn't spitting no little kitty little Bow Wow raps at 14. That nigga was barring niggas at baby age.
He's like a prodigy.
Yeah, no, he's a legit like, and he's really sort of blossomed into a really good MC. Got a little bit of, I mean, I get it. He's white, so like, hey, he sounds like Eminem, but he definitely has a bit of like 90s like metaphor ass Eminem when he was really into like that kind of rap as opposed to the sort of rapidy rap stuff that he's on now. But yeah, he's good rapper. So excited about doing a little boom bap for these niggas. Little Hir-O, hey, does the spacey shit and fucking, hey, he's gonna ride off into the warp speed and shit. Like, nah, bro, I can do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I can do that as well.
Stuff.
I can do the boom bap and I can do the pissy hallway. What do y'all call them? The oatmeal beats, and I can do that. I can go get me a record and get the vinyl crackling and all of that shit. I can do that. It's okay. I can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's no big deal. But left to my own devices, I will take y'all niggas into a hypercube, and that'll just be that. So this record though, I did a little bit of both. I did some hey man, I gotta fucking punch it, bro. Literally, dog. Hold on, I'm about to show you a text exchange that I had with this nigga. So one, I put this on my Facebook earlier. I was having trouble with this last beat. I put this in the group chat. Or in the Discord. I told him that I was having trouble with this last beat. I was like, this beat is taking a little longer to reveal itself to me.
This doth beat hath not revealed.
Right. and then so I put, this was the next morning. I put the Matrix. I can't really do it. At last, it's revealed itself. And then before that, though, a couple of beats. Bro, we've been having a funny ass conversation. So I sent him a beat, and I sent a picture of Gigi Datome, former Piston. And his response was, "Does this mean that the beat is trash?" I was like, nah, bro. Because if you remember, Pistons fans will remember, we signed Gigi Datome thinking he was finna be like Luka, and that nigga was weak as fuck. That nigga was trash. And then, so he sends me earlier on, like a text where he says, all right, send me one more, maybe one that's a little bit darker, sound a little bit harder, a little bit grimy, something. so I could do some toxic masculine boom bap. And then my response was, all right, got one glass chewing baby puncher coming right up. And then this is the text that I sent them.
You sent them that GIF.
The literal baby punching GIF. And then his response was fucking Kenny kicking one of his brother out of the window. Bruh, what's going on? Why can't I show you this? Yeah, there it is. So funny stuff. Shout out to Isaac Castor. We had a funny ass text exchange.
Hilarious.
And that's what I'm into.
Boom. Man, so Jay just randomly, he was watching Evo. He was watching Evo, like a bunch of Evo matches.
Which game?
He was watching people play. I think he was watching. No, he was watching Tekken, and he was watching Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think, and something else. And then he wanted to hook the Dreamcast up and play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So me and him, we've been staying up. We've been staying up super late. I've been playing that with him recently. He's actually pretty good, and so I make him so mad because I haven't assembled the dogs yet. I'm just kind of playing with a bunch of different characters. His team is Cable, Iron Man, and Captain America.
Stars and Stripes. You know
Stars and Stripes. So I just kind of been picking one, but every now and then I'll sprinkle one of my dogs in there. You know what I'm saying?
Get a little Hayato in there.
So the thing about that game is like, so what's your? Because like I'm even now just playing it with him, I'm kind of like rediscovering some characters. Because like there was a time when I was like a teenager where like Venom was my guy,
right.
And then I didn't play with him for like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I just never played. So I'm kind of getting back into some of this. So like my team through my adulthood has been kind of like Hayato, Captain Commando, and Psylocke. You know what I'm saying? But like now it's like I'm kind of rediscovering some of these other like Venom and Spider-Man, who I played with a lot when I was younger.
Yep.
Storm, who I played with a lot. Storm is disgustingly sweet on there. Her
and Rogue,
she can be a little. She can be a little hard to play with.
Oh, her skill floor or her skill gap is crazy.
But like Storm is a dog on that game.
Typhoon! Right. Typhoon! Lightning storm! Goddamn, what? Bro, there was a time.
She's so fast, too,
right.
Man.
There was a time where I was really into that shit. I was really good. And I had a huge roster. Like I played with.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, same, man.
I played with Magneto. I played with Dr. Doom. I played with Thanos. I played with a little bit of Sansan.
I play with Sansan too, the monkey girl.
But since I haven't played it seriously, I would say that maybe 4 people, maybe 5 that are at the absolute top of my list would be Venom for sure, Spider-Man, and Captain Commando, and then you've got Mega Man. I love playing with Mega Man. Like I said, he's my point guard, bro, controlling the pace, and then probably Hayato as well.
Yeah, that's tough. Mine probably be.
Oh, Sentinel. I'm sorry. I'd have to kick Hayato and I gotta bring Sentinel in.
Mine probably be Captain.
Rocket Punch, nigga. Fucking Rocket Punch, goddamn. Straight ass.
Mine probably be
hydraulic power punch. Should be phasing, bro.
Captain Commando. Jin. Guile. Captain America, Hayato. Man, I play with so many people, bro.
Guile, bro.
Guile. Bro. I'm so good with Guile in that game. He's got that double sweep.
Bruh.
And then he'd be just like, his movements are he's so like quick.
Yeah.
And So, and then he has that. My favorite move is that kick where he like
upside down
he
kick.
like jumps upside down. And pauses in the air real quick.
Nah, bro, it's America. Y'all ass. America kick,
and then
nigga.
And then he's got the German suplex, and then he's got the flash kick. Man, Guy was a dog. I love Guy on that game. He's like my distance closer because he's so fast and quick. And he's just I love his block too. He just,
right, dog. You know what I'm saying?
He like extends his leg out. Yeah.
That nigga don't be guarding nothing and talking about the fuck.
Oh my gosh. I love
ass.
Sonic.
Right.
Oh man.
You like
about the mailman? Sonic Boom.
Right. Hey, Sonic Boom. Good morning. Sonic Boom.
Oh man.
You like Guile better than Charlie on there?
Yeah, I play with Charlie too though. Go Tanks. I always call Charlie Go Tanks.
He's kind of the opposite of Guile.
He is. He's like stronger but not as fast.
And he's
similar moves though, but
he's like not. He's sort of still anti-air, but it's like down.
But it's like heavy. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Who would be your go-to support?
So I actually have gotten. So my go-to support is Captain Commando coming in with the. But my when I used to play with my group, CSF, shout out to Jarrell Emil, Elijah Day. We used to play, and we would actually we outlawed assist.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just hands. And
that's hilarious.
And it
bro.
was like this thing where like if you were calling assist, like Jarrell would just like, oh, he used an assist. Look at and so it was like we really like used to play this game so much, and we all got used to playing.
I played with Jarrell. I played with Jarrell one time when we were all playing.
Jarrell's he's BB Hood.
Yeah, he do play with. I remember that.
What's the girl, the Mega Man girl?
Roll.
No, the girl with the robot. Bonnie or something.
T-Bone
or
Trombone.
He plays with that girl.
So I played against Jarrell.
He plays with Charlie.
This how I know that y'all niggas had to recognize. Oh, okay, this nigga know how to play. Jarrell made an announcement. I started, and Jarrell is good. Like Jarrell is good. Like he's no slouch.
He's good.
I think matter of fact, he might have beat me the first round, and I went and got my squad. And then I beat the shit out that nigga. And he made an announcement. He's like, hey, bro, this nigga Hir-O, he doing air combos. And he landed them. He landed air combos. And I was like, yeah, bro. I played this shit a little bit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a launcher. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Low, medium, medium, high. And then if I can get there quick enough, dash, sweep, launcher again, and go ahead and let's get another round. I never quite got to the point. When I got to college, I started flirting with the infinites, where it's like, where you got to like hold up diagonal.
I always thought Iron Man had one of the easiest ones.
Yes, him and Cyclops. I could do Cyclops.
I like Cyclops too. I play Cyclops too. I love that he's got that little. He has that like double kick. The little
gene splice, bro.
Kick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nigga, behold. Hold on. Cyclops said, that nigga said, turned all the way around. Oh, ass. Behold, dog.
Behold. Dog, he's good on there too. Man, that's such a good game. What a time. Agreed. That's what I've been into. All right, man. There's a movie coming out in December.
Yes.
It's called Rebel Moon.
Yep.
I watched this trailer, have no idea what it was, never heard of it, didn't know what to expect. Holy crap, this looks like it could be one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yep.
What is Rebel Moon?
So Rebel Moon is a Star Wars script, a Star Wars idea penned by Zack Snyder. He pitched it to the Star Wars company, to the Disney company. They were off it.
Do we know why they were off it?
Unclear. I don't have those details. I don't know. So then he reworked it into his own IP, original IP. I sent you a text and said that John Boyega was attached at first. That actually, it's actually not true. He was involved with Rebel Ridge, which is another movie that's coming out. That's a similar type of.
Is he in it or no?
He's not in it.
Okay.
He's not in it. But Rebel Ridge is a different movie that I got confused with Rebel Moon. John Boyega was attached to that, but he's not attached to either one anymore, unfortunately. But either way, they got the girl from Sophia something. Can't remember her last name. Let's see. I guess we have the internet. Just look it up.
We do have the internet.
Sophia Boutella, who, if you watch Kingsman, she was the woman with like the blade feet in Kingsman. And she's been in The Mummy. She's been in Atomic Blonde. She's been Star Trek Beyond for the Trekkies. She was also from Algeria, North Africa. So I'm claiming her. She's African. She isn't black necessarily, but she is a person of African descent. So shout out to her. North African, complicated there, but whatever. But like she had her ass bolted on for the first part of her career. But she's been better and better.
Explain that phrase for anybody that is new to the podcast.
So another podcast that I listen to is this movie podcast called Cinephobe, where they watch intentionally bad movies and then they like review them, or they watch movies that were reviewed poorly and they watch them to see if they're actually good or bad. And they have the funniest way of describing if somebody's acting good or bad. That shit is so funny to me, bro. So we all have heard the expression, that person, he's acting his ass off. But they do the opposite, where if somebody is acting poorly, they be like, that nigga's ass is on, bro. That nigga's acting his ass on as fuck. And if they're acting really bad, they just exaggerate it, bro. Like, and I've taken it to extremes that they never even done. Like, that nigga's ass is fusion bolted to his back. That nigga's ass has been welded to his backside, bro.
Liquid metal soldered.
Right. Right, bro. That nigga's ass had a fusion reaction and is permanently attached to his body, bro. Poor acting. Right, dog. So the first part of her career, although damn, she's 41. I didn't think she was that old. I didn't think she was very good, but she was very good in the Star Trek movie. I didn't see Atomic Blonde, so I don't know if she was good in that, but she looks great in this movie. They got Jaimin Honsu and a bunch of other folks. I mean, it's got a pretty good cast. Ed Skrein, who played what's the name in Deadpool, fucking Ajax and Deadpool.
Oh, he's in this movie too?
Yep.
I liked him in that movie.
Yep, he was good. They got Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg. He's going to be in it. They got Anthony Hopkins, who's like one of the greatest actors of all time.
Okay, Wade. Hey, you grow back body parts now. Now your parts are going to have to grow back you. Oh,
Yep.
Good one. Yep. How's it going?
Oh, Jenna Malone, she's dope too. Yeah, it's got a nice little cast here, so I'm excited about it. It's a space opera.
Looks fire.
And hopefully, I put it in Discord, bro. Hopefully, it's a little violent, a little darker.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a Star Wars movie, so let's get violent.
Yeah, let's do some. Oh shit, it's rated PG-13. Never mind. But the good news is, it's also going to be a trilogy, so it is not. They get to tell a long story, and I mean, this is the kind of thing where
Dune was PG-13.
Yes,
there was some violence in Dune.
True. So again, it could be dark within the PG-13, and I think the thing that I'm more interested in than like the graphic violence is, don't let that shit be cheesy. Give me some dark.
Give me some dark. Some.
You know what I'm saying?
Some grown-upness.
Right, bro. We're grown now. So I'm excited about this. It could be a whole new IP. It could be comics. It could be toys. It could be games. It could be, novels, TV show spinoffs. I mean, this is the type of universe that has lore, and you know I fucking love lore, bro.
Yes, it is. Yeah, man.
I've learned that there's a phrase to describe me on TikTok. The young people are calling us lore whores. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess that's what I am. Because I love lore, man. If it's a show or a book or something that's got a great big lore and a bunch of fucking history and a bunch of million different characters, I'm in it. I'm here for it.
Hey, man.
Hua, lua, hua. I don't know about that. I don't think I'm gonna claim that.
Yeah,
I am a lore respectable gentleman.
I'm gonna change your name in my phone to that.
Hua.
Whore. Lore whore. Oh man. Jeez. Anyway, the trailer looks awesome. I watched it, and like I said, I didn't know what it was, and definitely caught me by surprise, and I had to ask you some questions because I was like, yo, what is this? Looks super dope. I can't wait to see this movie. Moving on. All right, man. This is the 90s cartoon blowout special. We're going to do a lot of talking about 90s cartoons. 90s cartoons, man. I mean,
there's no better happy place. There's no better nostalgic happy place for me than that.
I don't think there is. I think that cartoons in the 90s is like the mountaintop of nostalgia for me.
I agree.
Like 90s cartoons were just so different, man, than any other time. Like they were edgy, they were over the top. Like some of them were violent. A lot of the kids shows were just like dark. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This was also like a time where like it was like hip hop was just like hip hop culture was so dominant in the 90s, and it was like, and you could just see it in some of the shows, whether it's like the music they were using or how the characters were, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But also just like the animation and all these shows that were having toys come out, and then or it was like the time where the comic book movies were like, or where the comic book cartoons were like dominating, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is just like a great era for cartoons, like all across the board too, like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, like Fox,
man,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro, Fox was the champ.
Fox
for a
was
while,
the champ.
I think
100%.
Like maybe forever until because
that's where all the action stuff was on Fox.
Because I feel like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon didn't really. Nickelodeon was hot early. But I don't think Cartoon Network really got popping until like after Fox Kids sort of died down a little bit.
Yeah, because Fox was definitely the champ. Like Fox had everything. That's what the TV was on because when we were going to school in the morning, it was still on Nick at Night, right? Like when we were getting up to go to school, I don't think they were showing cartoons
or like
yet.
Nick Jr. I think. At the time,
I feel like now
I don't know. To be fair, I didn't have cable until I got to high school, so I don't remember.
I feel like when we were younger, even like right. So high school. So but even when we were younger, like middle school, elementary school, I feel like the TV was always on Fox, right? So we were always, for sure. Like I just remember Power Rangers being on in the morning, Mighty Max and Exo Squad, which I'm gonna talk about later. That show was on really early, like 6 a.m. And then I know for a fact Mighty Max is on at like 6:30.
Bruh, Mighty Max was a serial.
And Power Rangers was on at like Power Rangers was always on right when we were leaving because it could never catch the very end of the episode.
Bro, you know what was for me, and this might have been because there was two. There was Fox, and then there was Kids WB. They used to go back and forth. Yeah. Because I think Kids WB, either Fox or Kids WB, I don't remember which is which, but one of them had Pokemon, and Pokemon would be coming on.
Yeah, that was
like as I was leaving. Grade. Yeah, as I was leaving to go to school, and I remember like never getting to see it because my mom was always dropping me off early, so I never got to see it until afterwards.
Oh man, Pokemon. Good times. But yeah, man, what 90s cartoon was appointment television for you? So give me a 90s cartoon that you just, because I think there's a difference between like when you're a kid and all these good shows where you just kind of catch whatever, you know what I'm saying? But then there are shows where you were like, nah, like stop everything I'm doing. I gotta watch this before I head out or before I go do this or before I play. Like I gotta watch this show. This is my show. I'm about to sit down and watch it right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, X-Men, definitely. Because, I mean, X-Men was the only one where I was really in, because X-Men had cliffhangers.
Bruh.
A lot of cliffhangers.
Real cliffhangers. And, like, X-Men was one of the thing I can say about X-Men is it was probably my first show in my life where I was current. Like right. I was like needing to see the next. Yeah, no,
that was the only.
You know what I'm saying?
For me, the reason why I was appointment television is because that was the show where I was like, oh no, like I was paying attention to the last time on. Yeah, because I remember. Yes, I was there last time.
I watched it. And where's the new stuff?
I'm ready. Like let's get it popping, bro. Especially during the Phoenix Saga, dog. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What,
bro? And then oh my goodness. Yes, for sure. I think definitely X-Men, that show was, one, it was amazing, but two, just like you said, they were really doing a lot of shows when we were kids were episodic type of shows where it just had episodes, kind of misadventures type of thing. Mm-hmm. And X-Men was just like mad storylines and arcs.
Bruh, and yes, and that's always been my favorite type of storytelling.
Man, for sure. And X-Men was like that. So you were in that position where it felt like Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? We had to make sure that we caught the next episode, man, because they were actually doing long storylines and following up. So that was really dope. So shout out to X-Men. Which 90s cartoon do you feel like nobody remembers but you?
Dragonflies.
I remember the toys.
The toy.
Where you
yeah.
Where you it was like the ripcord thing, and they used to,
yeah.
Yo, so that wasn't that like a boy version of a girl toy?
It was the boy version of.
Because I feel like the girl one was out first.
It was like some sort of fairy thing, but it was the same toy.
It was the same thing. Yeah. Dragonflies,
man. Bro. I remember Dragonflies because
that's a great.
The theme song was fire, dog. It was one of them hair metal ass singers. That nigga was talking about in the future, everyone shall know. Yeah, one of them type voices. That nigga gave the whole story. You know what I'm saying? It's like a apocalyptic future where like
oh my god,
everybody lives in the sky and they live with dragons because you can't go to the surface because of some calamity. It was dark as fuck. It felt like.
Oh man, a lot, man. Like I'm telling you, some of these shows were dark.
Yeah. Dragonflies was the shit, man. It's on. I think there's 2 seasons, and I think they're both on YouTube. For those who
Dragonflies, yeah, that show. I don't really remember the show, but I do remember the toys.
Yeah.
So, and every toy definitely had a cartoon. So
I have to multitask real quick. I'm like super. I love this conversation, so I don't want to be distracted. But, fuck, I have to do a draft with my homie.
Football?
So for sports, ironically, but not like that. No. This is not a fantasy draft. It is a season tickets draft.
Oh, are you like drafting games?
The games.
That's cool.
I tried to send the picture, but it didn't work. So I'm gonna put the picture up on the screen, and I'm gonna need some help. So we decided that the Rockets game is going to be the joint game. So there's 21 games altogether. We're going to do 10 apiece. And So if it's 10 apiece, that means there's 20. There's one more that we go together, and we decided that was going to be the Rockets because of the Pistons Rockets rivalry with like Amir Nassar, Jalen, and Cade.
Oh yeah, I guess that is like a legit little rivalry now.
Yeah. So let's just do that shit right quick. Let's do a little bonus segment here. Hir-O drafts his, because I want to be like focused on this conversation, and I got to get this shit done right quick. Either is fine. Matter of fact, I'm about to make content out of this. Hold on. This will be awkward, I'm sure. Yo, Ruben, you're on the podcast, bro. I've decided to make content out of this. Do it. So, because we're about to have a conversation about 90s cartoons, and I don't want to be distracted. So, let's just do content. We're gonna do the draft right quick, and we're gonna put it on the podcast. So, for context, this is my homie Ruben, one of my best friends since day one, right along with Edmund and Randall and all of them. So this is my guy. I also convinced him finally to play Ghost of Tsushima. He was waffling for literally like 3 years.
It's the greatest game of all time.
He finally is like, oh no, this shit's sweet as fuck. Like, nigga, I told you it was cold.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. No, I'll fuck with it. Anyway, all right. I want to do a searching team, man.
All right, that's fine. Go for it. Who's got first pick?
You got first pick.
All right, bet. I'm gonna go Warriors. Yes. Noveliss said Warriors at the same time I did. I'm gonna go Warriors November 6th. So,
all right.
Does that mean I pick again, or do you? How does that work?
No.
Okay, so I'm following you.
You go first, so then I'm gonna go 2 back to back, and then you get 2 back to back.
Motherfucking Sieg. All right, I got it. All right, Warriors first.
All right, let's see here.
Wizards and Bobcats.
All right, man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Cavs and Magic.
Okay. Word. Cool. So I'm gonna go Pelicans because I've not seen Zion yet. Assuming that he plays.
He won't.
Right.
And then I'm gonna go Pelicans, and I'm gonna go Nuggets because I don't think I've seen Jokic yet either. Oh no, that's not true. I think I did see him, but that's okay. I'm gonna still go. Or do I want to do that?
You won't see the Joker. You gotta watch the champs, dog.
I saw them last year though. I'm gonna go Suns instead because I don't think I've seen them before. So I'm gonna go Pelican Suns.
Okay. I'm trying to keep track of this, so give me a second. All right, you said Pelicans and Suns.
Yep.
And your first pick was the Warriors.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to go. Let's go. LeBron's too old, so I'm not doing that.
I like so. Still got AD.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going home opener.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go. Fuck it, I'm going LeBron. Fuck it. I'm going LeBron.
Man, LeBron is this nigga. It's LeBron. That's perfectly fine to see that nigga. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, hey, there we go. So let's do Spurs Bucks. Let's go Wemby.
How did I fucking miss that? I am so upset.
Dog. Yeah, you let that one slip, bro. Spurs, and Bucks.
What a fucking terrible draft pick.
We can maybe talk about trades as we get closer into the season, but I'm gonna hold on to the Spurs for now.
That's a travesty. Wow. Pressure's on. I'm gonna go Boston OKC.
Oh shit! I didn't see Boston. Fuck, I would have got them too. Okay. So there's some shitty teams left now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this L, and I'm gonna go Knicks because I know nobody gives a shit about them, and Raptor. Yeah, Raptors. Because I want to see Cade bust Scotty Barnes' ass. So yeah, Knicks Raptors.
Okay. All right. So I go 2, then you go 2, then I got the last 2, right? Or how many's left? We got.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 picks. So I have to make 3 more selections. Right or no? It should be. I go to.
It should be 11 and 11 technically, right?
Yeah. Yes, assuming that we both have the Rockets, which we will. So you go 2, I'll go 2, and then 1-1. I think is how that would go, right?
Yeah, it would have to be probably.
Yep. Okay.
Maybe. So. All right. I'm gonna go.
Nuggets still on the board.
Ain't nobody trying to go watch us get smacked like that, bro. That shit about to have everybody sad. You want to talk about the wind getting knocked out of a million people's deals at the same time. All right. I'm gonna go. I hate watching fast Luka Doncic. Damn it, man.
Bro, that nigga is fat, bro. I told you when I saw him, he was bigger than Zion. That nigga was wide as a house, dog. I'm telling you. You need to see it for yourself, bro. You need to see it for yourself.
All right. I'm gonna go Mavs, Brooklyn.
Okay. All right. So you're off the Nuggets. So I'll do the Nuggets, and I don't really have that many options left. Nuggets and Heat. Did you do Heat already?
Nope. They're still free.
Okay, I'll do Nuggets and Heat.
All right, so that means you get the Sixers and I get the Clippers.
Okay. Wait. What about? Did you get the Grizzlies already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, shit.
Yeah. Go. It's your pick. So if you want them, go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. I had Denver and who?
So that means that I need to pick 2 then, right?
Yeah. So hold on.
Yeah, I need to pick 2 because you picked first.
I picked 2. I just picked 2. I picked Denver, and I picked who else? Who did I pick? The Heat. So that means you need to go 2, and then I go 1 after that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going Grizz and Clippers, and then you take Sixers.
Okay. All right. So let me just make sure because I'm having a brain fart here. Okay, Houston, or that's Miami, and then you said I got the Sixers.
Yeah, you got Sixers. So I just did little tick marks next to the over the teams.
Yeah, send me that picture. Did it say
I'm red and you're blue.
Yes, when you did that last year, I literally used that same picture every time I went to a game because I wasn't sure. I needed to double check. So just to review, we both are going to Houston. Then I got Golden State, Phoenix, New Orleans, the Spurs, the Bucks, the Knicks, Toronto, Denver, Miami, Philly. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 11 at Houston. And your recap real quick, just for the sake of and we'll see.
I'm gonna go in the picture of the dates, or in the order of the dates. So I have Bulls, I have Lakers, I have Cavs, I have Nets, I have Rockets, OKC, Clippers, Magic, the fat ass Luka Doncic, Celtics, and Grizz.
Strong. All right, man. SwordCast, who do you think got the better draft? I think Ruben might have fumbled the Spurs pick.
Whoever got the Warriors got the best.
I don't want to watch that skinny ass dude anyway. So.
All right, bro. Send me that picture when you get a second, man.
All right, bet.
All right, bro. I appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. See you later. All right, that does it for the sports section of the SwordCast.
And that does it for the sports section of the SwordCast.
All right, 90s
sports.
All right, sports ball. I hate when people say that shit. Ooh, sports balls.
Sports balls.
Shut up.
So the last thing we said was, which 90s cartoon do you feel like nobody remembers but you? And you said Dragonflies, which was a very good answer. I'm gonna go with
Watch the skies for a dragonfly. You remember that shit, dog?
Actually, yes. I had some too. I remember I got some in an Easter basket one year.
Bro, they did used to come in weird ass like packages and shit. Yeah.
So Dragonflies is a good one. I have so many. But I want to give props to a show that I think is just forgotten. I'm going to say the Double Dragon cartoon.
Yes, bro.
The Double Dragon cartoon was sweet.
It was sweet.
It had some sweet toys.
It did. Bro, the toys were cool. You remember the masks that they had?
Yes, bro. The toys were fire.
Those toys were sweet as fuck, bro.
Billy and Jimmy, when they did their swords, they had the dragon face masks. Those masks were fire. Oh, man.
This was one that I never had, but Edmund definitely had a couple of these. Yeah, with the tattoo. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, fire! And I feel like it lit up too. Like, yeah, man, Double Dragon was. Oh, those are so cool.
Yeah, this nigga was white. I forgot how white he was.
It was Jimmy, right? Which one? The red one.
The red one was Jimmy.
He was super white. But yeah, man, and then the show was kind of dope because I remember he had got like raised and trained by like the villain, and his brother got trained by the.
Do we remember if this was a video game first or was it a show first, or how did that?
I'm pretty sure it was a video game first because I remember this. I remember the game was pretty old. Like I think the game was actually on
like an 80s game.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo.
And then the cartoon came on in the 90s, and they made that terrible movie starring my guy, though.
I remember. It starred Robin Show? Or?
Nah, Mark DeCas.
Mark
Dacascos?
Yes.
Mark
Dacascos.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's a legend, man. He was in that movie. Man.
Hell yeah. And then the other guy who didn't do any martial arts.
Yep.
Yeah, Scott Wolf. Dacascos.
Scott Wolf
is how you pronounce his name.
But that movie was
I think
fun.
I saw this movie before I knew that this was Mark Dacascos. For him, he becomes a legend because of Only the Strong. That's what like seals the deal for me. Oh, by the way, I finished Warrior Season 3.
I need to finish it, yeah. I haven't finished it yet. He is actually, he's in Season 3.
Yeah, he's great.
I need to finish it. But yeah, man. All right. So Double Dragon and Dragonflies. Here's another one. What is a 90s cartoon that you feel like everyone loved but you didn't?
Man, a bunch of Nickelodeon shows, dog. Yeah. There were a ton that I didn't like. I didn't like Cat Dog. I think that's.
Oh man, I didn't like Cat Dog.
Is that 90s though, or is that?
Yeah, I feel like Cat Dog was like 99.
Had to be late 90s.
98, 99. What is it?
98. Yep.
Yeah, 98.
I didn't like Cat Dog.
Did not like Cat Dog.
Here's one that I think is really, really overrated. I didn't dislike it. I did like it, kinda.
I wonder if we're gonna. Bro,
the same Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my gosh!
Listen. I thought it was good. Well, just listen. I thought it was fine, right? I thought it was pretty good. There were some times that I laughed. There was a couple episodes that were funny.
Weird.
But people hold it up as like it's one of the greatest Cartoon Network shows of all time.
It's not to me.
It's not in the. It's like they hold it up like it's in the Mount Rushmore. Like no, it's not. Not even close.
Yeah, I wasn't. I never got.
I guarantee you, Courage the Cowardly Dog is going to do well in this list. I guarantee it, bro.
I never really liked Courage the Cowardly Dog. I thought it was just weird and boring, and the dog was kind of annoying. I never liked that show. That's a good answer. Mine is
Angry Beavers as well.
I actually liked Angry Beavers. Yeah, I thought that show was funny.
I feel like Angry Beavers was what regular show was. It was trying to do what regular show succeeded at a little bit.
I see that. I definitely I liked Angry Beavers. A 90s cartoon that everybody loved, but I didn't. I think I gotta say Johnny Bravo. I never liked that show.
I won't lie. I did laugh at a couple of Johnny Bravo jokes. But
it was just one of those shows that when it came on, I was just like that SpongeBob meme. All right.
You just like you can't do Johnny Bravo no more.
Oh, of course not now. But just even when I was a kid, I just didn't.
This nigga's a fucking creep.
Didn't appeal to me. I just didn't really care.
This nigga's is kind of a rapist a little bit.
Yeah,
like
he's
borderline.
His character definitely would not fly today.
This nigga's a serial sexual assaulter.
And he's like just the poster boy for like a white male, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Toxic masculinity guy.
Yep.
Elvis sounds like Elvis. Like an Elvis gym bro.
He used to make some funny ass noises when he got hurt.
Yeah, he did used to make funny noises when he got hurt. But yeah, all right, give me give me a 90s cartoon that you feel like was one of the funniest ones. What 90s cartoon was just very funny to you?
Dog. Dexter used to have me weak.
Dexter was hilarious.
Bro, Ren and Stimpy, dog.
Ren and Stimpy was incredibly inappropriate. I have no idea how that show lasted so long on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
because that show, bruh, Ren and Stimpy was off the chain.
No, and then there was like
powder toast man. My man used to bend his knees, fart, and then fly backwards.
Fly backwards, dog. And the physics on that don't even work. Like, wouldn't you fly forward if you farted?
And then he would just fly backwards.
I really thought so. There was also a unrated version of it that came on Spike TV. Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh, no!
And it was like they just went.
Spike TV was just like man. Explosions, burps,
right?
Farts,
dog,
guns.
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, though. That I used to watch that on. Me and Edmund used to love that shit.
That show.
MXC.
The game. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Takashi's Castle.
They come up and be voicing over, saying their most random stuff.
That shit used to have. That shit used to have me dying, dog. They would make up stupid ass stories and have like dumbass like occupations and shit.
Yes, that show was hilarious.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I'm a horse therapist.
Oh man, that show was funny, hilarious.
And bro, there was one just a subtle ass humor where they did like Tony Blankenship, I think was his name, and the other guy they renamed the characters, and like the original dubbed version, like the character was trying to like think of something, and they spliced it so that was like the introductory. So he introduced himself, and it made it look like he forgot his name. He was like, "My name is oh, that's right, Kenny Blankenship." So he used to have me dying, dog.
Yeah, that show was hilarious, man. That was that show was funny. I used to watch all the time. Funniest 90s cartoon. I'm gonna go with Life with Louie, man. Do you remember Life with Louie?
Dog, yes, bro. I remember the theme song for that one too.
Bro, Life with Louie was hilarious. That's a show that me and my brother used to watch all the time. If you guys aren't familiar with that, please look it up. I actually think they have the whole show on YouTube. Watch it. It was so funny.
Yes.
Best action 90s cartoon.
It's gonna be tough to not go X-Men, but I'm gonna talk about them a ton. So I'm gonna try to go someplace else for now. Even though the graphics weren't super great, I might have to go with Beast Wars on this.
I love that. You know what though? For the time, it was great.
For the time, it was groundbreaking for sure.
Not the best, but I have recently watched Beast Wars with Jay, and it actually surprisingly is not terrible.
It's not. Yeah, it's not terrible. I was about to say Dragon Ball, but I forgot that we can't do anime.
Hey!
Yeah, sorry.
Follow the rules.
But let me think about that, though. The only problem with these type of Saturday morning cartoons is that a lot of them didn't have a super strong budget. So the frame rates were super trash during some of the fight scenes.
That's true.
You know what, bro? Okay, I have to. It's hard for me to, even though I'm going to talk about this show a bunch. Dog, season 1 of X-Men, when they had that like brand new budget, it's hard to top that, bro.
Yeah, no, facts.
Like that shit just looks sweet as fuck.
I agree.
One of my favorite this wasn't in season 1, but just one of my favorite fights and one of my favorite episodes was the Lady Deathstrike episode where they had to fight that weird ass like alien.
Yeah, man.
That was a good episode.
That episode is really good. That X-Men cartoon is so fire.
Yep.
Yeah, man. All right, so I'm gonna go with best action cartoon.
Actually, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me take it back. I'm gonna give it to Batman the animated series.
Hey man, that show was so good.
Now that I'm thinking about it, bro, that nigga Batman used to beat the brakes off of some of the niggas.
That's the time you'll hear me praise Batman. Is
the only time.
That show is a masterpiece, man.
Batman used to throw them haymakers.
Bro, he used to be on there. The screen would flash when he punched somebody.
And all you would see is just like the follow through. So, he fucking knocked somebody into a concussion.
Cartoon, they had that arc where remember he had to fight the Ninja Master. Killed a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
yes, dog.
That show was so good. All right, action cartoon, man. Look, I've been binging this show. I'm gonna go with Exo Squad. That show was amazing, and I've been watching it all week. I watched it all weekend. I showed it to Jayless, and that show, man, like that show is so good. It's crazy. But definitely Exo Squad for me. I'll talk about that show later. What is a 90s cartoon that you missed out on? Like maybe something that you didn't catch in real time and maybe you watched it later, but what's a 90s cartoon that is dope that you feel like you missed out on, that you didn't get it in real time like a lot of other kids did?
Man, I don't know. I watched a lot of them bitches. It wasn't too many that got past me.
Facts. No, I did too, but I think I have a good answer for this. So my answer for this, a 90s cartoon that I feel like I missed out on, I think I'm going to say that Superman cartoon. That Superman cartoon was good, and I didn't watch it until I was a little older. That show was actually really good.
That was pretty good.
The Superman cartoon, Lex Luthor was just a straight up black dude.
Yeah. He's black only.
That show was actually good, and again, this is the only time you'll hear me praise Superman. But oh my gosh, that game on Nintendo 64, one of the worst games of all time. Ever. Literally one of the worst video games ever made. But that cartoon was fire, and that's the kind of a show that I missed out on in real time.
So I think my answer would probably be Rocket Power.
Oh, I love Rocket Power.
I didn't have cable.
We are riders on a mission.
Yeah, I did catch it and I liked it, but I never caught it in full
Rocket
time.
Power Sneaky was like my favorite Nickelodeon cartoon.
Bro, I'm also just now learning that Rocket Power was made by the same creator as Rugrats, which is obvious if you look at the animation style.
Look at the animation.
And also the Wild Thornberries.
Yep, same. Obvious if you look at the animation
I
style.
never put that together until just now.
Wild Thornberries, man. That was a show that I wasn't super into.
Yeah, me neither. I ain't like that crazy boy that they had.
Donnie.
Like, what's wrong with that nigga, bro? Like, why y'all ain't help that nigga, dog? That shit used to just take me out the show.
Why letting this boy run around like a wild animal?
Slobbering and shit. Go put some pants on, bro. Take your ass in the house and be quiet. Stop all that slobbering and shit, yelling, making all that damn noise.
Oh man. Whew. Okay, that's funny.
Oh, you know what, bro? I'm gonna slightly. Well, never mind. Okay, no, I'm gonna say it. I'll say it. I'm gonna slightly cheat a little bit. This is not a cartoon, but it's a phenomenon that was really popular in the late '90s that I never got into. And I kind of talked about this a little bit, and it's sort of a controversial topic these days. But Harry Potter.
Did Harry Potter come out in the 90s?
It did. The first book came out in 1997. And I remember during 8th grade, there was a couple of nerds. They were not that. I went to a DPS school in 8th grade, so there weren't many of us that were open, that were like out at the time. But there was a couple of nerds that was into Harry Potter back then. Let me make certain of this. Sorcerer's Stone.
No, the movies no, but the books definitely came out in the 90s because I remember my teacher reading it to me and to my class, the first one,
1997.
Yeah, I remember my I was in elementary school teacher reading it in class.
And it makes me sad for two different reasons. One, because I mean we've talked about how I have not historically been a huge fan of magic, and by proxy not a huge fan of fantasy. And I thought it was because of magic, but it was really because it wasn't no black people, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that until recently.
No black people.
I didn't know that until recently. And so I think I had always felt that way, but I wasn't completely, you know what I'm saying? I hadn't been awakened yet. So I didn't have the ability to
rise from your grave.
Right.
Remember that game?
Yes.
Dog, Altered Beast, that game was so hard.
I couldn't identify why I felt so uninterested in fantasy. And I told myself it was because of magic. But in reality, now that I've seen some fantasy that's got black people in it, I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. I love this.
How come there weren't no black people in it before?
I don't know. So that's the thing, right? I think it makes me sad because, like, damn, had there been one or two black people in there, I would have fucking loved Harry Potter, bro.
See,
it's just a shonen. It literally. They got a shonen anime out right now that makes fun of Harry Potter, and it's obvious how the shonen works, right? And so that, and also like because of J.K. Rowling coming out and being a complete like piece of shit, it makes.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's like a full on like homophobic, transphobic, like horrible.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, she's trash. And so now you kind of got to be like, bro, well, now I can't support the shit because. And she straight up said, like, if you still support Harry Potter, that means that you support my views. She has said that straight up. And it puts all the folks that loved Harry Potter who are, like, anti the shit that she believes in a weird super position. Tough spot.
That's weird.
And so as a person who didn't start checking out Harry Potter until after that already was a thing, I was like, bro, like, now I have to kind of enjoy this shit and, like, without, like, buying this shit, without, like, spending any money on it because I don't want to support that piece of shit person.
Yeah.
So anyways, weird. Harry Potter, that would be mine.
That's weird. Answer. All right. Favorite 90s cartoon opening. Another thing that was really dope about 90s cartoons is they had the best theme songs and the best openings. What's your favorite 90s cartoon opening?
Come on,
you gotta play it. You gotta go to YouTube and you gotta play it.
Whatever it is, dog. You gotta play it. I'm gonna play two. One is the obvious answer, and then the other one is the sneaky answer.
I'm gonna close my eyes just so I can hear. I want to hear it.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure I know the obvious one.
Yeah, bro. Come on now.
Previously,
come on now. Let's go, dog.
This is such a good theme song. That's so iconic.
The whole thing just goes
Come
on,
man. You acted out all these, didn't you? When you were
of course. Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Nigga. Oh no, that's at the end. My mind. My mind. Bro, and then you got Magneto. That nigga was getting activated at the end of this shit, bro.
Was, bro.
You gotta understand, brother.
Gosh.
Look, hey, watch this nigga.
Bro, this theme is so good.
Bitch. No, they're not gonna put no more needles in my body, dog. I'm not having it. Let's go.
Dog, 10 out of 10.
And then
one of the greatest shows of all time.
The surprise one is this. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Dog, is this just
Dragonflies, bro? This shit cold, dog. In the future,
men once walked upon the earth below. Now we fly at mega heights.
That song is fire.
This nigga sound like Chris Jericho, dog.
Bro, this is crazy. This is unlocking of memory right now.
Bro, this shit was sweet, bro.
Yeah, I remember. That's crazy, bro.
Oh, that's right. Flight is might, dog. Let's go.
Dragonflies, wow.
Watch the skies for dragonflies.
Let's go.
That's a deep cut.
All right, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna do two too. So my first one, dog, is gonna be Real Adventures of Johnny Quest.
Mm-hmm.
This show, I loved this show, and this theme, this opening is so good. Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, man. Let's go. You can't tell me this doesn't make you hype.
Oh yeah,
Dog.
it kind of sounds like Metal Gear Solid,
Bro, it's so good.
Yeah. Oh shit, I remember this. I think this might have been one of the very, very first songs that I tried to sample
Oh, this.
when I was like in like 9th grade or something.
Yeah, bro. This opening was so hype. It just felt like an action movie.
Yeah. Bro, I remember one episode of this show where
This show had a lot of like gruesome deaths in it. It was kind of crazy.
there was one episode of this show where what was Johnny Quest's dad name?
Dr. Quest.
Facts. That was that nigga's name. Where I remember him being like really, really blown away at some. Do you remember that episode where they had this alien sphere?
Yes, I think the original one.
What? No, I feel like it was. I feel like it was the New Adventures.
Okay, it might have been in this one too.
And I just remember that nigga ass was off as fuck because he was like, "That must mean this was made in zero gravity." I was like, bro, dog, this nigga.
Bro, that show was great. Race Bannon was like James Bond pretty much.
Bro, Race Bannon he should have been an action hero.
Bro, Race Bannon didn't discriminate either. Like I remember he had to beat up a girl one time and he just didn't care. Next one is gonna be Bucky O'Hare, man.
Oh yeah.
Dog, this is the hypest.
Subways now slicing their
This
meat
isn't it.
fresh.
This is an ad. Obviously, but this is like one of the hypest theme songs ever, bro. Come on.
Another dimension, another time and space. A parallel universe is falling on its face. When out of the chaos,
this
who else
show
can it be?
is fire.
The animal adventurers from SPACE. Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare. Mutants and aliens and toads beware. You're looking for adventure, well this is it. With Jenny, Jedi, Blinky, and Willie the Weird. I said Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare.
This was my
In the battle
show.
of the universe, you don't know what's next. You only know amphibians. experience a manic complex. When you check out your scanner and the evil that it was, there's only one course of action.
He is rapping his ass off, bro.
Oh, yeah, he was on here spitting.
He goes where no ordinary rabbit would dare. If you're righteous indignation,
Bro, I had so many toys from Bucky O'Hare.
Bro, me too.
Without even really knowing about the show until later.
Get the funky fresh rabbit who can take
Bro, this song's fire.
Captain Bucky O'Hare, Bucky, Bucky, Bucky O'Hare.
Let's
man.
cook Toes.
You know what gets
was fire.
it would get an honorable mention, except it was 80s, but Thundercats is
Oh
another
yeah,
one.
that theme song was fire. It's 80s, but that song slaps. Thundercats are loose.
Right,
That song's
dog.
fire. But yeah, man.
Goof Troop also.
Goof
Troop was cold.
Goof Troop was fire. Like brother, like son.
Bro, was that CeeLo or not? Was that CeeLo, yes or no, dog? I'm looking it up.
I'm looking it up.
CeeLo.
Oh man, Goof Troop. Hey, Disney Channel sneaky had some really good 90s cartoons. Goof Troop, Tailspin. What was the other one? There was another show. It had Goof Troop, it had Tailspin, like Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Man, let's get
Bonkers.
dangerous.
Wasn't Bonkers Disney Channel too? The cat cop.
So no, it doesn't look like he did. But still, Mark Waters and Phil.
What if that was CeeLo's real
Right,
name?
it's one of the. Is that CeeLo's real name?
But yeah, man. So with that said, let's do it. Let's get into the definitive SwordCast top 10 90s cartoon list. We had you guys send your list in. The participation was lovely. We got a lot of lists that got sent in. You want to give me some predictions before I give you some notes?
Yes. So I feel very confident about a couple. Ed, and Eddie is the one I feel the most confident. I don't think it's going to be first, but I think it's going to make it the top 5. Dexter, I think, is going to make the top 5. I think. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Wait a minute. We forgot the best one in terms of, I mean, obviously not X-Men, but in terms of intros, Doug. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Come on.
But it's not the one y'all think, bro.
You talking about the Disney
It's
one?
the Disney one, bro. Y'all are tripping, bro. The Disney Doug theme is superior.
So fire.
This shit's so wholesome, dog.
Wasn't his sister's name like Dirt Bike or something crazy like that? Yeah, this thing slaps.
Right. Roger came in and balled that nigga shit up.
Ruined everything. Dog.
So good. Anyways. Recess. Feel good about that.
Oh, Recess, such a classic.
Recess and Hey Arnold's.
Nice.
Hey Arnold. That's a good one too.
Move it, football head. Hey Arnold.
Oh, and then X-Men. Duh. Okay. I feel, bro, I wonder if a nigga might go 5 for 5 here. Being on the, not the top 5, but just those 5 being on this list. I think so. I feel at minimum we're going to go 3 out of 5, but I could potentially go 5 for 5 here, I think.
Okay, all right.
Let's see. What do we got?
So before we get into the list, you know I like to drop some notes. Mm-hmm. So the first note we got is just gonna be, these are just some deep cuts. These are just shows that I think I just liked seeing them get mentioned. They're not gonna make the list, but I just liked seeing them on people's lists. Daria.
Yeah,
Daria was a really good show. And Daria actually was close. It needed some more points. It almost got on the list, but Daria.
Man, okay, I meant to ask this question because it kind of threw me off a little bit. should we have made a specification to say that we were or were not going to include adult cartoons? Like King of the Hill or Family Guy.
I don't think it would have mattered because there were some on a lot of lists. Like Family Guy, King of the Hill was on some. Dario was on some. Eon Flux was on some. The Max, remember that? The Max was on some. Like some of those adult shows. So those shows were popping up. So
Okay.
But yeah. So Daria, Biker Mice from Mars.
That was the best the Turtles clone in my opinion.
Biker Mice from Mars. The Tick. Remember the Tick? That was a good deep cut.
Spoon, dog.
Freakazoid, man.
Yeah.
Freakazoid was one of the funny. That was like Deadpool, like
Facts,
personality.
100%.
Freakazoid, I like seeing that get brought up. Chip and Dale. That's another fire. That's another fire theme song. Darkwing Duck. Gargoyles. These are just really good ones that aren't gonna make the list. Two Stupid Dogs. I loved seeing that get brought up. That show was absolutely hilarious. And I will give another nod to Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
Somebody had that on their list. That show was actually very funny. Animaniacs. That was another good show. And all right, next thing. Show I am the most surprised that barely got any points. Tiny Toon Adventures.
Yeah.
I thought Tiny Toons was gonna be like a real contender to make this list, and it just was not on anybody's list. I think I thought that show was great.
It was great.
So shout out to Tiny Toon Adventures.
Bro, you remember the Tiny Toon Adventures like Olympic game?
Yes.
I remember that shit being hard as fuck.
Very difficult. I do remember that game. And then next note here, there's no adult cartoons on that made the list.
Wow.
So we had votes for Daria. We had points for Daria. We had points for Futurama.
Yep.
We had points for King of the Hill. We had points for Family Guy. None of those shows had enough to make the list.
I had a couple of them were in my honorable mentions. And I think one or two were in my actual list too, so we'll see.
Next one. There's 4 comic book cartoons based off comics that made the list.
Wait. Shh. Okay, I thought I might be able to go 6 for 6 because I know for sure Batman is gonna be on here, bro. Batman Animated Adventures.
And the next one, okay,
animated series.
The next note here is that I already said there's no adult cartoons, right? All right, so we'll get into this now. There is only 2 Nicktoons that made this list.
Oh.
Only 2 Nicktoons made the list.
Interesting.
And now we're going to get into the fun one. So I have 4 shows here that had the most points that didn't make the list. 4 cartoons had the most points, didn't make the list. And it was literally a 2-way tie between the top 2, and then the next 2 after also had a tie as well. So that's why I included all 4.
Okay.
The first show that had the most points that didn't make the list, Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh!
Ed, Edd n Eddy almost makes the list.
I'm stunned.
Doesn't make it. I'm shocked as well.
Wow.
So now I'm a spoiler alert on my list. Ed, Edd n Eddy didn't. It almost made my list. It didn't.
Same.
But I have a hilarious story. Remember I told you that story that's related to Ed, Edd n Eddy?
Yes, bro.
Where I fell asleep with my head underneath my bed. One summer when I was a kid, and I kept every time I woke up, I had the 90's wood bed frame.
Yes.
So every time I woke up, I was literally hitting my forehead on my bed, and I just would go right back to sleep.
Did you say your mom came in and you had a giant knot?
I had a giant. It wasn't a knot, but it was like a giant, like just purple, just like a line across my
Bro, that nigga was giving himself CTE.
So I had my alarm set. So this is why I think about it, Nettie, because I had my alarm set for 10:30 every morning in the summer, so I could get up and watch Ed and Eddie. And this Ed and Eddie, and this day, I kept hitting my head. And bro, my mom came home from work, and I was still doing it. So this was at like 5 o'clock. Oh my gosh, this is one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me in my life as a kid.
Bro.
The next show that had the most points that didn't make the list, Mighty Max.
Wow.
Shout out to Mighty Max. That was definitely a staple in mine and my brother's childhood.
Yo,
the Cat Bear.
Here's another little known fact. Maybe it's little known. I don't know. We talked about how dragonflies.
Hey,
what happened?
Which one came out first, The Hobbit or Mighty Max?
I mean the Hobbit.
The Hobbit came out in the 80s, right?
Bro, the Hobbit, the book came out in like the 60s or something.
Okay. I needed to know that it predates Mighty Max because very similar plots.
So we talked about how,
remember the Mighty Max like Polly Pocket toys?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The Polly Pocket. So I was trying to think of what the fucking. So the dragonflies are the boy version of the whatever the girl toy was. Mighty Max was the boy version of Polly Pocket. Yes,
and those things were sweet.
Yes,
Norman was my guy. The swordsman that he used to have with him, the Viking. Mm-hmm. Norman was dope. Shout out to Mighty Max. I love that show. This one's gonna hurt you. Actually, not yet.
Oh, God.
There's a 2-way tie.
I hate this.
These two are the two shows that had the most points that didn't make the list. That had the most points. The first one is Doug. Doug does not make the list.
Damn.
Shout out to Doug. Amazing show. Loved it. Doug was a big time staple in my childhood. But this is the one that's going to break Hir-O's heart.
Come on.
The other show with the most votes or the most points that did not make the definitive list, Reboot. And now,
damn.
Thank y'all for sending a listen. We got some really good participation, man. My brother contributed to the list. Shout out to the homie Handsome Bane. He contributed to the list. Let's go. Top 10 SwordCast definitive 90s cartoons. Coming in at number 10, representing Cartoon Network, Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, Powerpuff Girls was fire, and it was so good that I feel like there wasn't a lot of that shows for girls.
That shit wasn't for, I mean, obviously. But that shit was for boys, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, Powerpuff Girls was good. It was
straight
legit. Up. It was very good. Everybody liked Powerpuff Girls. Yes. I am not surprised to see this make the list. Powerpuff Girls, great show, great action. It was funny. I don't care what anybody says. Samurai Jack is Professor in another universe. Good villains too, man.
Yes.
Mojo Jojo.
It was me. Okay, that nigga fucking nigga had a mental breakdown, bro. Like, I created these niggas, bro.
It was me. Oh my God. Hey, what a really, really sweet character design though on Mojo Jojo.
Facts.
He looked awesome. Coming in at number 9. This is kind of a deep cut. Loved this show. SWAT Cats, man. Let's go. SWAT Cats was dope.
SWAT Cats had a very similar vibe to Symbiotic Titan.
Symbiotic Titan was a good show.
They feel similar to me, like in my mind for some reason.
SWAT Cats was fire. Lots of action. You could tell it was like, you know, I've kind of looked into the history of SWAT Cats. I love that show. It's so good.
Yeah.
But SWAT Cats was one of my favorite cartoons as well. But it wasn't on very often, and then I remember I never had any SwordCast toys, and I kind of looked into the history of it a little bit, and like the show was so edgy. And it was like violent for, a kid show at the time. Yeah. And they really were like trying to get it off the air. And like, so they really like showed it real quick because the creator loved it so much that they just wanted to show it a little bit, take it out, show it a little bit, take it out. Right. And then when they dropped the toys, like they dropped like one wave. And then once the mugs were out, they were, So SwordCast had a really weird time. It was kind of ahead of its time for the time that it came on in.
In my opinion, it's in the top. There were a ton of Ninja Turtle clones.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best.
I think Biker Mice from Mars was the best.
Biker Mice from Mars.
I know a lot of people love Street Sharks. Street Sharks. I liked it, but I don't know. It didn't really land with me all the way.
Right.
But I will say,
remember Extreme Dinosaurs?
Yes, dog. Extreme Dinosaurs.
Extreme Dinosaurs.
Wow.
Extreme Dinosaurs.
Bro, all of those theme songs back then were all like wrestling theme songs.
Oh my God! It's the Extreme Dinosaurs.
Extreme Dinosaurs. Of the era of like
anthropomorphic
right
humanoid
turtle clones, I think Biker Mice from Mars had the best toys though.
Those toys were sweet. I still have one of mine actually. I had Vinny, the white mouse.
I had the one with the arm. I can't remember.
Throttle. It was
Throttle.
Vinny, and Moto.
I had the one with
Moto was the one with the iPad.
Yeah. One of them had like a Kano half faceplate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those toys being really, really dope. Because they were like big and they were really articulate. They had finger articulation.
And they had the bikes.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. But coming in at number 8, representing Marvel Comics, Spider-Man. Let's go. Hey, I always say, first of all, love this show. So good.
Yep.
This was, at the time, shout out to the Iron Man cartoon.
Yes, sir.
That show was sweet too. But at the time, this Spider-Man show was maybe the best at including a bunch of different heroes from other stuff.
Oh, yep. There was a legitimate Secret Wars episode that featured Storm, Wolverine, and a bunch of other Spider-Men. The Beyonder was in there.
And then you had like Blade, and then you had this show was like my first exposure to Blade, the Blade character,
Morpheus. Even though that fucking arc was like,
you had Morbius.
15.
Dog, I swear for like 3 years straight, that was the only arc. That was the only thing.
Fucking Morbius, the Man Bat, because it was the Man Spider, then it was the Man Bat, then it was Morpheus.
Bro,
it was like
it was
all
like 25,
and they all related to each other.
But yeah, you have Blade on there. You have Morbius. They had Daredevil in there. Like, I feel like Punisher was in there too. He was in there. Blade, Kingpin. Like, man, this show was so good. Even to this day, has maybe the best on-screen symbiote Spider-Man story of all time.
It nails it.
It's not.
I said this the last time we talked about this. That is the best, concise, but like true to comic explanation of the symbiote experience, from Black Suit Spider-Man to Eddie Brock Venom to Carnage too.
To Carnage too. Yep, Carnage is in the show too.
Yep.
Man, this show was so good. And even, Peter Parker being kind of a older,
college,
better college kid.
Yes, and wasn't a loser.
Weird. Girls liked him.
Right. Flat out popular. Flat out the man, kind of.
Yep. Yes, sir. That show was awesome. Coming in at number 7, representing Nickelodeon, Rugrats.
Really?
Yes, Rugrats. I was getting kind of nervous when I was adding these lists up. There was a time when Rugrats was sitting at like number 2, and I was like, "Wait, what are y'all doing? This is going to be a Sonic 3 situation here."
I love Rugrats.
I love Rugrats too,
but not that much.
I didn't. I loved it when I was a kid, and I do. It is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, but I don't know if I would, even if I was just talking about like Nicktoons, I wouldn't put it over. I wouldn't put it over Rocket Power. I wouldn't put over Hey Arnold. I wouldn't put over Doug. It would. I wouldn't. I think it would be after those. It would be probably. I think it would be top 5, but.
To me, it would probably rank above those two. I really like Rugrats a lot. I like it because it was one of the early ones.
It was, but I lost a lot of my love for it after the movie came out.
I was done at that point.
They changed the animation, and then they had I loved the way it looked when it first. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
Like that original animation.
Yeah.
It was really good. So shout out to Rugrats, man. Coming in at number 6, I am so glad this show made the list. I didn't think that this show was going to make this. I don't know. For some reason, this is a show that I feel like not a lot of people know about, but everybody does, and they all love it, and that's Recess.
Good.
Let's go, man. Recess at number 6. Classic. This is one of the main just got home from school shows that I used to cut on. My favorite episode of Recess is... the episode where it was picture day and Gus was the new kid and they had to try to keep him clean because he moved so much that he didn't have any school pictures. Man. And this was going to be his first school picture, and it was like a war after the kids took their pictures, they were just like they just went and got dirty, and it was like just a mud fight on the playground. And their class was like last to take their pictures, so they all sacrificed themselves so Gus could be clean for his picture. That episode is hilarious.
Now that I'm thinking about Recess had to be a really, really strong influence for Craig of the Creek. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I think so too. Recess was great, man.
Yeah.
That show was really dope. Shout out to Recess. Shout out to Vince, man. I'm sure Vince grew up to play in the NBA.
Oh no, he in the league.
He in the league.
Vince in the league for sure.
Definitely.
Pick which one? It could be. He could be. I really saw Vince as a wide receiver. Though.
Yeah, Vince basketball, football. Do you remember when his brother turned out to be a nerd? And he had like a nightmare where he turned into a nerd.
Yep, I remember
like
that.
A werewolf. He was like Nito. Oh man, that was hilarious.
Bro, you know what? Vince is in the league, and why? I just had a brain fart. Gerald is his manager.
Oh, for sure. Gerald is definitely his agent.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gerald. Coming in at number 5. This one snuck up on me. I actually completely forgot about this show. This show is fire. It makes the top 5. It starts off the top 5 in our 90s cartoon list. Batman Beyond.
Really?
Yes. Everybody loved this show. This show was on almost everyone's list. Batman Beyond,
bro.
Coming in at number 5. I liked Batman Beyond, but I
liked it, but I didn't think it was nearly as good as the animated series.
These people love Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond coming in number 5.
Interesting.
It's a sweet show. It's dope.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
The Batman Beyond suit is one of the best suits, and I'm actually surprised. What's his name? Terry McGinnis.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that there has not been a live action Batman Beyond movie.
They've been asking for it for forever.
I think they should do it. I think it would be dope. So Batman Beyond was a sweet cartoon. The movie was fire where Joker came back. I remember that movie. I had a Batman Beyond toy when I was a kid. That was amazing. It was one of my first, it was one of the first figures I remember getting that just came with so much stuff. It was like in a kind of a long package, and it had a lot of stuff that came with it. So shout out to Batman Beyond. Coming in at number 4, representing Nickelodeon again. Hey Arnold, coming in at number 4. Let's go, man. I love this show. Some of the greatest music ever. The jazz. I love Hey Arnold, man. Just so many good episodes. I hate the rain and I hate the snow. I hate the
rain. Right, nigga fell into a snowdrift and then popped back up.
Hey Arnold's got some of the best weather episodes of all time. The snow episode, they're sledding, playing ice hockey. The heat wave episode when Jolly Ollie Man was losing his mind and they tipped his truck over. Jolly Ollie Man was so mean.
That nigga was not nice at all.
Remember when he said, "What will this give me?" He was like, "Ha ha, nothing." Do you remember that episode, bro?
Yes, bro.
Where Arnold had got stuck with him for like they had to. It was like a career little thing they were doing at school, and he had to have a mentor, and he got stuck with Jolly Ollie Man. Oh my god! And Jolly Ollie Man's dad was like his boss.
Yes, bro. Silly.
Oh my gosh, hilarious. The later seasons of Hey Arnold were not good, but the Hey Arnold in its early days was an incredible 10 out of 10 show.
Agreed.
Coming in at number 3, Batman the Animated Series, man. One of the greatest shows of all time.
For sure.
Maybe the best opening. Not song, but just like the opening. The opening was incredible.
A lot of Batman heads, and I think maybe the biggest Batman fan that I am aware of in the SwordCast is probably Josh. They look to Batman the Animated Series as the premier Batman experience.
I think it is too. I mean, this is a show that this and you know, this is gonna come up again. But just this time where everything matched. The show, the toys looked like the show. Mm-hmm. The show looked like the comic books. The comic books looked like the games. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was in line. It all looked the same. The Batman toys from the 90s were so sweet. Yep. Just the look, like that suit, the gray with the black. Mm-hmm.
And it was like 20 different versions.
Oh my gosh. This was just such a great time for Batman. That show is amazing. It was dark. It was kind of a little mature a little bit. Yep. This is an incredible show. One of the first shows that was like we had like me and my brother had like recorded every season of it and like labeled them like it was like a DVD collection or something, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Batman the Animated Series, one of the GOATs. This is the highest you will ever hear me speak of Batman. This show is amazing. Coming in at number 2, representing the Cartoon Network.
Let's go, dog.
It's Dexter's Lab.
Let's fucking go,
it's
dog.
Young Dexter and Dee Dee in Man Dark in the Gundam episode.
And Jindy, man.
Tartakovsky, man. The GOAT.
Maybe the 90s cartoon GOAT, man.
The GOATs. This show slaps. Dexter's fire. Do you remember Cartoon?
I remember all of them. Oh, okay. I was about to say, if you ask me literally any Dexter episode, yes, I remember that shit, dog.
Cartoon started off a lot of these shows from Cartoon Network. They started off as like little pilots on there. And then Dexter became a huge hit. One of the greatest cartoons of all time.
Agreed.
Had a little bit of everything, man. It was funny. It had the random great action.
Bruh, oh my God. It's one of the first American cartoons that had like really obvious anime influences.
Yeah, it had Major Glory. Remember what was it called? Incrackable Crunk.
The Infraggable Crunk, dog.
Major Glory.
And Valhalla.
Van Halen or something. Van Halen. I don't know. Hilarious.
Valhalla.
It was hilarious, man. Great show.
What was it called? The Super Pals?
Super Pals or something.
Yeah.
Don't remember, but it was great. And then the monkey.
Dial M for monkey, bro.
Monkey. So good. Dexter was a classic. Love that show.
No, that shit was sweet as fuck, bro.
It was. But coming in at number 1.
You already know what it is.
We all know what it is. I don't think this is a surprise to anyone. The Magic School Bus. No, I'm just which was a good show.
It was.
But coming in at number 1, it's the heavyweight champion of 90s cartoons. Again, if we talk about the continuity between all the different media, the cartoon, looked like the toys, which was the best toy line in the 90s.
Yes, bro. Flagship toy line.
Toys looked like the comic book, which looked like the cartoon, which looked like the characters on Marvel vs. Capcom, which looked like the characters on Children of the Atom, which looked like the characters on all the games, and everything looked the same.
The voice actors were the same.
Voices were the same.
Shout out to Cal Dodd.
Come on, man.
Who I believe is coming back as Wolverine in X-Men 97.
Come on, man. And number one, it is X-Men, the GOAT 90s cartoon. Yeah, you guys did a good job. But X-Men, amazing. All the different storylines. We already talked about it a bunch on this episode.
Look,
the way that they told these long storylines, and it was continuous, and they left you with real cliffhangers. Man.
Listen, man, y'all know how big an X-Men fan I am. It's because of this show. This is what got me started. This was the gateway drug. This was the gateway drug for me becoming a comic book fan in general.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't know about when this show came out, I was like 8 or something. I didn't know shit about comics before then. Soon as I saw this, I need some X-Men comics.
And like you said, just think about it's so because now it's everything. It's so complicated now to try to match up like a comic book. If you're a 40-something-year-old mom and you don't watch this stuff and you got to go buy your son a comic book and you're trying to get it based off a show he's watching and none of the stuff looks the same and none of the heroes look the same.
Yeah.
This was at a time where you could say, Mom, I really want the comic book of these guys. And your mom could go to the comic book store and see it and it would look like what you're watching and it would be that same art style. You know what I'm saying? And she just can get it.
Yep.
And the toys look like that too. So shout out to X-Men. That's our number 1. And that's the list. And you guys did a good job. No Sonic 3.
Yeah.
Coming in number 10, Powerpuff Girls. Number 9, SWAT Cats. Number 8, Spider-Man. Number 7, Rugrats. Number 6, Recess. Number 5, Batman Beyond. Number 4, Hey Arnold. Number 3, Batman the Animated Series. Number 2, Dexter's Lab. And number 1, X-Men.
So I could have gone 6 for 6, but the Ed, and Eddie thing spun me, bro.
It did.
So I ended up going 5 for 6.
Ooh.
But I did get like the top 4 were all in there.
Nice. Batman Beyond was a surprise to me.
For sure. I did not expect both of them.
I think the
to be
show
there.
is fire and it's really good. I wasn't ready for the love that it got.
Me neither.
Next episode we'll share our own list. It's late. It's like 12:30. But I have to show you guys something.
Okay.
One of my favorite 90s cartoons I will talk about a lot next week was Exo Squad. And this is a show, it didn't make the definitive list, but spoiler, it's going to be on mine. It's going to be high.
Did it get a single other vote?
It did.
Really?
Yeah, it was on like 2 other lists. So it did have, it was on more. It had like 11 points. That's not like good enough to make the list, but that's not like, that means it got mentioned a couple times.
It's not chump change.
Exo Squad, man. I loved the show when I was a kid. It had some of the coolest toys. And so before we wrap this episode, I just want to talk about this real quick. The other day I was sitting here and I was just texting, me and my brother were just texting each other randomly, and we just started talking about like old 90s cartoons, and I sent them this like video I found on YouTube, and it was just like a compilation of like old cartoon like openings. And then after that, I literally get on I think I was on Facebook or something, and there was some nerd page that I follow, and it said what cartoon from the 80s or 90s would make the best movie that hasn't been made already or tried already. And the first thing that came to my mind was Exo Squad. And I was like, Exo Squad. I was like, that would be a great movie. And then I was like, dang, Exo Squad was fire. I was like, dang, those toys were some of the sweetest toys ever. And I was like, dang, I can't believe I never told my son about this show. Like, he loves like old stuff like this, and he would love this show. So I'm literally driving home from jiu-jitsu. I just got done training, and I call him, And I'm like, Jay, I never told you about the show, but I was like, there's this show called Exo Squad that I used to love when I was a kid. And I was like, it's really dope. You should type it in on YouTube and see if they got it and you should watch it. And he calls me back and he's like, it's on Peacock. And he's like, they got the 2 seasons. And I was like, what? And then I'm like, all right. So me and him have been just watching Exo Squad all weekend. And this show I loved it when I was a kid and I had a bunch of the toys. But I just didn't. This show is like, it's really good and it reminds me of X-Men because it's like a long continuous story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really, really some heavy stuff. Like, bro, characters die. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Characters be dying. The action is great. It's just a show about it takes place in the future and there's like the humans had like terraformed like Mars and Venus and these other planets, and the reason they were able to do that is because the humans had created a alien race to like work on these planets that they couldn't go to, and they like created this race of aliens called Neo Sapiens, and then the humans like enslaved them, and then they like revolted against the humans and started this war. It's just like a really deep.
It's a very similar plot to Robotech, as a matter of fact. Yes,
and actually, it is like there is a thing between Exo Squad and Robotech. Even like the if you just look at the mechs and the way that like it's all like the same stuff. And the cartoon was fire. The toys are awesome. My favorite character was this dude named Alec De Leon, and I actually was going through my stuff.
Hey, let's go.
And they got it, and still intact and it's fire. And this year is probably gonna be me trying to find old Exo Squad toys for me and my son. So great show, man. Like I said, it's heavy. Like it's got some, like there are people that die.
It's interesting that you say that it had a connection with Exo Squad, because I've also been on a nostalgia kick, a 80s, 90s anime kick.
Yes.
And I learned that Robotech is not technically American. Sorry, it's not Japanese. Robotech
I didn't know that.
is it's almost like a anime version of Super Sentai and Power Rangers, where Robotech is a rebranding of 3 different non-related Japanese anime, one of them being Macross and 2 other ones that I'm not familiar with, but were rebranded in America and joined together into one storyline under the banner of Robotech.
So it is like Power Rangers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never knew that.
It was one of the first attempts of like, hey, we should try to see if this anime shit works in America, because this was like 1985 or 86,
mid 80s.
So like
Macross is fire too.
Macross is really, dog. I'm telling you, bro.
It's really hard to find, but like the movie version, if you could find like the movie version, I think it's like an OVA.
Yeah, So Macross, Pat Labor, Blue Seed. Blue Seed as well, but Appleseed. That like 90s era mech anime, 80s 90s mech anime, that's like a wheelhouse of mine.
Yeah.
Early Gundam.
Watching Tekkaman Blade.
Yep, that one is in there too.
Oh my gosh, fire! I just started watching it. It's like an early 90s. And this show is, first of all, the design of the I guess the mech suit that this guy becomes is fire. But so I love like 90s mech anime is my thing. That's kind of, I remember I text you, I was like, this is kind of like a secret wheelhouse of mine. Like I didn't really realize it, but like I've seen a ton of these shows and like I love them. And but yeah, I guess I like, because the dope thing about Tekkaman Blade is it's like the Guyver. Like it is a mech, but it's like an organic
biosuit.
It's like a exactly. It's like an organic biosuit that he becomes and puts on, kind of like the Guyver. And I think I like that more than somebody I think I like somebody being the thing more than somebody getting in the thing, and like, and that's another reason why like I like G Gundam so much, because G Gundam, they're still piloting it, but they're like in that little thing, and they're like doing the movements, and the Gundam is just basically doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah, like it's this show Tekkaman Blade is fire. I started watching that. It's really dope. And I love like 90s and 80s like mech anime. It's just, I don't know, something about it that I really like.
Yep.
Attack on Titan's a mech anime.
Kinda. You know what I'm saying? That's not that you can make a case for it. That's for sure.
But yeah, man, that's it. Episode 163.
Good episode, man.
Good episode. 90s cartoons. Next week, you guys will get our list. And we're gonna talk about Ahsoka next week, because I'm probably about to go home and watch it.
Yeah. I watched the first 40 minutes, and that shit's sweet as hell.
Oh, hey, let's go.
And there's a there's a thing that I wasn't sure about that they just were like, nah, yeah, and it's a big deal, and I'm like, interesting. I don't know that I knew that, but now I do. And y'all didn't try to pussyfoot around it. They were just like, nah, here's that thing. And I'm like,
okay, I need to watch this as soon as I get home.
You know what I'm saying?
I need to watch this when I get home. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. This is a good episode. Post your 90s cartoon list in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, just comment on this video. We'll try to get you in there. Peace!